Hey, what's going on, Phoenicians? There's a train. I'm here with RoninDave. He's a nice dude. He's a history buff based here in Japan. And we're doing a beer history collab. We're going to drink beer. We got some Kamakura beers. And he's going to discuss Kamakura.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so first what we're going to do, we're going to take our first sip.
Yes.
Oh, let's kanpai.
Yes, kanpai.
Oh, I should mention, so this beer is Kamakura Star. It is a pale ale.
It's a pale ale, yeah.
All right, so shall we take our first
cheers.
sip?
Not actually, wow, that's pretty malty for a pale ale.
Really?
Yeah. Like, normally pale ales are really crispy.
Mm.
Like crispy, like crisp, biting taste, right?
All right.
Crispy like crackers, I guess. No, but it's a good beer. I do like it. It's kind of, I mean, I guess this brewery is really known for using a lot of malt. So this is a pretty good beer.
All right. Anyway, so Kamakura.
Yes.
What would you say? What is Kamakura?
Kamakura is one of the old shogunate capitals, right? Back in the old days.
Yeah.
I think it was from like the 1200s.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And it was chosen as the capital, from what I remember, because it was defended by a bunch of mountains and a seaside. So if you were going to invade the shogunate capital, you would have to go from the ocean.
Yes.
So that's why Kamakura was so strategic back in that day.
Yeah. The interesting thing, like Kamakura today, despite like the hordes of tourists that go there, it still seems kind of like, to me, it still seems like a sleepy town.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
It seems kind of sleepy and unassuming, yet like the history there is fascinating and very bloody, by the way.
Yeah.
I sometimes call like the Kamakura period that we would talk most about is kind of the Game of Thrones of the Japanese.
That's a pretty good analogy, isn't it?
Of Japanese history.
Yeah.
Inhabitation of that area actually goes back thousands of years because they found stuff from the Jomon era.
Oh wow.
Up there.
That's
Jomon
like
is like from about they keep pushing the dates back, but about maybe 12,000, 14,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Down to about 1,000 BCE, however you want to call it. So they found like some Jomon relics from about, I think, 3,000 to 5,000 years ago in the hills. The sea levels actually were a bit higher during Jomon level, so there wasn't a lot of, like close to the shore, there wasn't a lot of habitation because there was no land to be had. Right. Yeah. But Kamakura, in proper Japanese history, they started making temples there, building temples there in the Nara period. In the
does that include the big Buddha?
No. We'll get to that, but that was much later. But one of the first temples built was Sugimoto Dera, which I was at today, and that was built in the Nara period, in the 8th century.
Nice.
So there was stuff there beforehand, and then later, in the 11th century, this is where we get close to the shogun and all that.
Right.
A guy named Minamoto no Yoriyoshi, he was named governor of the Sagami province, which is part of Kamakura, and he chose
basically Sagami province is like the southern and like eastern and western parts of present-day Kanagawa Prefecture. There's a train passing.
Yeah.
It's loud.
There were 2 trains passing. That was the problem.
Third one.
Oh, and a third one goes by. Bloody hell. Yoriyoshi chooses Kamakura as his governor's capital.
Oh, I see.
And he built like the first shrine that would later be the big shrine that they have today, Suragaoka Hachiman Jingu.
Okay, that's that really large one. Right?
Yes, yeah. At that time, it was a much smaller shrine, but later it would become the huge one that we know today.
That's impressive.
So that's kind of the early beginnings of Kamakura, and there's a couple heroes from there. There's a small shrine called Gongoro.
Gongoro, like the Shibuya, like the Shibuya girls from like 20 years ago?
No. Kamakura Gongoro. This is off the top of my head, so forgive me if I make some mistakes. And I'm drinking, by God. He was involved in what they call the 3 Years' War, the later 3 Years' War. Go-Sanin, I think it was called.
You read about that in like advanced Japanese history classes.
Yeah. There was a 9 Years' War that Yoriyoshi took part in.
Right.
And his son Yoshie.
Is that for the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate?
Oh no! This is before.
Oh, that was before.
This is back when the samurai were still like second-class citizens.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I say second-class. It's a bit harsh, but they were not the nobles.
So this is
they
like
were not
around
the ruling.
like right around the Heian or just after the Heian area?
No, it's in the Heian period.
Oh, in the Heian period. Halfway done with this beer though. It's pretty good.
No, you like it?
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's
I mean,
good.
a lot of Shonan beers taste very malty, so this is a pretty archetypal Shonan beer, if you ask me.
So where's the percentage on this?
I think it's 5%. Most of the beers from this brewery are 5%. 5.5%. Yeah.
And so this, as we can see on the bottle, it was established in 1998.
Yep.
This brewery.
So it's typical craft beer lifestyle.
Would you prefer it to the National Brew?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
I mean, the National Brew is not bad. I mean, compared to the American National Brews, like Budweiser, Coors, and all that, I much prefer the Japanese one.
Yeah.
Kind of like the top of my list is more like I'd probably say Ebbis, Suntory, and Sapporo are like my my tops.
I agree with that list too. ABC is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, so in the what I was talking about, Yoriyoshi and Yoshie, this was in the time of the 11th century.
Right.
The early 11th century, and so at this time the samurai were, I said second-class citizens. It doesn't mean like the kuge were first.
Right.
The
nobility, right? Yeah.
The nobility, and they kind of looked down on the samurai, even though the heads of the samurai family were descendants of emperors.
Right.
For them, that was a big deal, but for the kuge, they were like, "Oh no, you're this provincial warriors who don't live in Kyoto. Whenever you come to Kyoto,
yeah, at that time, anything outside
you're just
of
like
Kyoto
a bumpkin.
was like,
You're just like a bumpkin visiting the big city," is how they felt. Because Yoshie, incredible warrior of his day, and he's called like the son of the war god, Hachiman Taro. But he was not allowed at one point to enter Kyoto.
Man, that must have sucked.
And see, like, that's amazing because he's this incredible warrior, but the kuge culture at the time were like, yeah, whatever.
They didn't care. They were busy doing art.
The 3-year war, he tried to argue that he had done it to keep peace for the empire.
Right.
And they said, no, it was just a private squabble. We're not going to give you anything.
Man.
That was a big moment, though, because in the end, he had to reward his followers from his own hands, from his own stuff. But by doing that, that really strengthened the bonds between the retainers and the higher samurai lords, and you could see that trend beginning. Like there was more loyalty to the lord than there was to the state,
which kind of put more of the emphasis on that. Was like the groundwork for the Bushido system, right?
Yeah, and then what would later replace the aristocracy,
right?
So what happened to set up Kamakura? What happened was 1156. There were two emperors, a retired emperor and an reigning emperor,
right,
squabbling for the throne, and they needed the warriors to
basically fight it out.
Yeah.
The
ex-emperor, the retired emperor, lost, and one of the winners on the ruling emperor's side, he was given the ignoble task of executing many of those who had fought for the ex-emperor, the retired emperor.
Yeah.
Many of them being his own family, the Minamoto clan. This guy was named Yoshitomo. He had sided with the reigning emperor.
Right.
But most of his family did not, and he had to kill his brothers and his father.
Man, that must have sucked. So he probably wasn't enjoying that, was he?
3 years later, he rebelled because he felt he didn't get rewarded enough, and he had to do that very terrible thing.
Right.
He rebelled, but his rebellion also failed. And that's what kind of set things in motion. Like, a lot of his sons were killed, executed, or killed. He himself was killed. But he had one son, Yoritomo, who was very young at the time. And he was not killed. He was actually spared because the rival's leader, Taira no Kiyomori, his mother felt sorry for Yoritomo and pleaded for his life. Right. And he was spared, and it was Yoritomo that is the one who sets up the Kamakura shogunate later.
So he's the one that was he laid the groundwork for the Kamakura shogunate.
Yeah. Because years later, he fought against his family's rivals.
Oh, there you go.
In the Genpei War, 1180 to 1185.
And that's what set everything in motion.
Yeah, and in 1192, he was officially given the title of shogun. Now, shogun had existed before as a title, but it was a general. He established it as a hereditary thing.
Yeah, it was like the military dictatorship thing.
Yes, basically. Yeah, whereas before it was just a title you were given and you did your job and then you retired. But now you would hold it until, well, you could still retire technically. The title would go to your son or something like that.
But just finished this beer.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Okay, so
that was
let's
a brief introduction, I guess,
All right.
to the Kamakura period.
Yeah, and so we just finished this beer. So
Yep,
what's your judgment on that?
This was, I mean, it was good, malty.
Yeah.
Didn't really
Very
taste like a
easy,
pale ale.
very easy
It was
to
easy,
drink,
yeah. I was
yeah.
surprised I was able to get this.
I'd say like
yeah.
it's very easy to go down, but people could make all kinds of puns with that one.
Bah.
But no, this is a very nice beer. I would say definitely get
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the first beer. Now we have 2 other beers that we're gonna drink, and we're gonna upload those 2 videos on his channel.
Because he doesn't have any space on his camera,
Yeah,
and his
I'm
regular
sorry.
camera's broken.
Go to his channel, check out the other 2 videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was fun. This is interesting. I love learning history, especially about Japan. So yeah, I'll see you on his channel.
All right.
Peace.
See you guys.